story time on how I hit $1 million with my company Femmagic, only to lose 40% of it and then come back. So I sent an email out to 20,000 emails because I just deleted 40,000 emails because they were inactive. So congratulations if you made that email list. That means you got the email that stated I hit $1 million to lose 40%. That's the subject line. So if you want to find the email, that is the subject line to search for. All right, so right now I'm at Great Wolf Lodge, and I'm just sitting around waiting for my daughter and her friends. So they're playing or what have you. So I'm going to share the story. All right. So in 2015, many of you know that I started my company Femmagic from scratch. I'm a single mother of 3. I'm struggling. I had to take out my first credit card in order to pay my rent. There we were, freezing in the house along with my cat under a cover because I moved to Atlanta, launching my boot camp program. And while everyone was telling me, yes, come to Atlanta. Once I got to Atlanta, no one bought the program. And that is the proceeds I was going to use to pay my rent. All right, fast forward. I launched boot camp online. And then that was 2015. And then 2015, December is when I launched the products. Now, don't get me wrong. The programs, they had got me to my first 10K ever, right? So that was a big deal. That was a part of my building blocks. But the products took me to another level. So once I launched in 2015, the product line, Vagelixer was my first product I sold. It just took off. So I started off with, I'm thinking that first year in 2015, mind you, I'm making $30,000 trying to take care of my 3 daughters. I'm on welfare, so I'm struggling, okay? So I think 2015 was the first year I made 50K, I would think. And this was just off of programs. And I think I was selling yoni eggs by sending PayPal invoices via email manually, also in 2015. I didn't have a website yet. So I launched my first website in 2015, December. That's when I started selling the products. And so the first year in 2016, everything went amazingly. I think I made my first, like 80K. And then the year after that, it doubled, and then the year after that, it doubled again till I got to, I think, 2019, where earlier that year, in 2019, I declared I'm going to be the first millionaire of my family. I felt it. I saw the evidence because I was already at 500K annual sales just from my products. And the community, the Femmagic community is strong, right? Because at the time, I was on those internet streets doing naked yoga, doing my sensual dances. I was hosting many events. They were called goddess retreats. And, community was really, really strong. So that's another thing. When it comes to building your business, you have to create and build a strong community by connecting with the people in an authentic way. And they saw that I was real, This was not an act. And honestly, when I look back at a lot of those videos, I'm like, who would want to put on an act like that? Because some of those videos are cringe. Yes. So this is how I built the community, right? Just connecting with them, showing them how to tap into their sensuality, how to heal, doing yoga, sensual dancing, and of course, selling the feminine care products. So I'm doubling in sales. 2019 hits. I made that proclamation. I think it was like April. I was like, I'm going to be the first millionaire of my family. On Facebook, I wrote that post. And then I posted it on Instagram. And that was before you could connect the two. And so, sure enough, my annual income doubled again. 2020. It went from 500K to 1 million. And as a matter of fact, I made 1.2 million. But some things you must know. One, I did not know the pandemic was going to hit, which really did help my sales. Absolutely. Everyone was inside and everyone was paying attention. Two, I launched Manifest a Million Meditation February 2020. March 2020 is when they announced the pandemic, and I had to cancel this $8,000 trip I made, reservations I made for my daughters and I to go to Morocco. So I remember that clearly. It was announced in March, and that's when I had to cancel. So I remember it like yesterday, right? So I launched the meditation in February. I started doing the meditation already, and this is me online sharing with everyone, having everyone meditate with me. And we were doing money manifestations and healing, and it was before I even started showing myself on video. If you all would go back to 2020, those meditation videos, I have a filter on with little bubbles in the screen, and you'll see just like my ear. That's it. So I was hosting the meditations every day. And then April. When April came, because I was meditating on making my first 100K. When April came, I made my first 100K month. And all I was doing was meditating. I wasn't making extra products. I wasn't running any ads. I wasn't dealing with any influencers. April 2020, I made my first 100K month. Then I kept meditating. And of course, the pandemic persisted, and I made my first 200K month. And then I remember in June, I made a 300K month. And this was before I launched the actual paid Manifest a Million meditation. So this is being made strictly off of products. So that year, 2020, made my first 1.2 million. All praises due. 2021 came, I made another 1.2 million. 2021, I launched Manifest a Million Meditation, the paid private group. That in of itself made about 100K on its own. And then the rest were products. 2022, I'm traveling with my bestie. I'm splurging, having fun, right? Next thing you know, I get back from the trip. This is April, May. I get back from the trip in May. Look in my back office, and I'm like, what is going on? This is so strange. Okay, why do you want to come and do that? Smoke cigarettes while I'm here. So I'm like, this is strange. What is going on? Why does the sales not look as it normally does? Then I start doing research, and I see it's stating there is a happening. I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, what is going on? What am I gonna do? I ask around to other business owners, and they're stating that they're going through the same thing. So it wasn't just a Femmagic thing. Now, 2021, my sales dropped by like 40%, right? Remember, I made 1.2 consecutively. And what did I try to do? I don't know. I think I started launching sales, which is not the best thing to do. Because I'm understanding that, people are saving now. People aren't spending like that. But fast forward 2023, I start trying to devise a plan. I'm talking to marketing experts and everything like that. I'm teaming up with other people. But it wasn't until, so I'm going through it in 2023. I'm talking about sitting in the Range Rover that I could barely afford now. Because mind you, while the sales plummeted, my overhead did not. I take care of my well, she would hate that I say this, but my elder, not elderly, my elder mother, in New York. You know, I pay her $2,000 rent and other things for her, you know. Then I got my expenses, my car note, my house, my daughter's in college, you know, Lotus, she's an athlete, the overhead for the company itself, all kinds of insurances, you know. And it's hitting me hard. You know, there were many of days I'm sitting in that Range Rover I could barely afford at the time in 2023, and I'm crying. But because I am a manifester, a master manifester, I did let that get the best of me, but I knew to use those low vibrational emotions and manifest at the moment. So as I'm crying, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for 100K months, 200K months. Oh my God. But I'm crying, right? So remember, I have a video on YouTube that says use your anger to manifest. You can also use your sadness to manifest. Any low vibration, you can use it. Those are the optimal moments to use to manifest. Nevertheless, I devised a plan, and then boom, 2004 hits. And the people who I teamed up with, they got me my Amazon store. I launched my new website. I got on a TikTok shop store. I launched a new program, Womanifest, and we got things popping again, baby. We got things going again. And this was my big pivot. Now, as the email said, you know, I've never been someone to give up, but I remember being in my 20s, wanting to commit suicide, kill myself, but kill my daughters first, then kill myself, because I didn't want to leave them in this world with, you know, alone without me. I was that stressed out, you know, and it was financial too, just being a single mother again, right? But I was well past that state, you know, at this point in life. Done a lot of healing, healed a lot of my trauma. It's always going to be there, but it's how you handle it. You know, it's mindset. It's always mindset. And like I said, even in my moment of sorrow, I know to use that as a moment of power. So there came my big pivot. That's when it happened. You know, I launched all the different sites and stores and programs again, using what I had from within. You know, all of that was God-given. I didn't start a new product line or anything that would cost me a bunch of money. I just used what I had and made the most of it. And here we are. We're back. We're better. We're stronger. You know, it felt like I was taking an L, but I always know, and you always know, it's a L as in a lesson and not as in losing. So yes, I want to thank you all, those of you who are still with me. This year will mark year 10 of Femmagic in December. I want to tell you thank you so much for sticking with me, for loving my products, for loving my programs and the services we provide. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to share this transparent moment with you all, but make sure you get on the email list. Go to the link in my Femmagic bio and sign up for the newsletter so you too can get in on these stories I'm going to be sharing every Friday. It's a series, a transparency series that I started today. All right? Thank you for joining me. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, and love you.